You know, two of my favorite things in the world, Batman and Supernatural. And it looks like they might be coming together a little bit in one sloppy orgy of a marriage, because what we have just heard is that Misha Collins, who played the angel, in Supernatural, is going to be coming in to play Harvey Dent Two-Face in the new CW show Gotham Knights, which I'm going to admit right now, I didn't even know was coming. When I hear Gotham Knights, I think of the video game.
Same.
That's on its way. But apparently, the angel Castiel is going to come in and play Two-Face. So basically, he got on, if you watch Supernatural, Castiel always has the trench coat. And so when he was cast in this, he got online and said, hey, when I got cast for this, I asked people, is he going to be wearing a trench coat over something? Because if not, I'm going to feel completely out of place, which is pretty cool. But if you're like me, well, this is what he said specifically. He said, I've asked if my version of the character would be wearing a beige trench coat over a gray suit, Collins tweeted Friday, along with a picture of Harvey Dent Two-Face figurine. I'm just not sure I'll be comfortable in front of a camera without one, because that's always been what he always wore in Supernatural. But here's the basic idea of this show, which I knew nothing about. And again, this comes to us from Variety, write the following. Written by Chad Fivish and James Stotterow and Natalie Abrams, the CW drama pilot, which is notably not a spin-off of the CW's Batwoman, or is it based on the upcoming release from the Warner Brothers game? So this has nothing to do with the game Gotham Knights, even though they're both Batman-centered sort of things. Takes place in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, as his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Caped Crusader. And, as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors, known as the Gotham Knights, which I believe is also kind of the underlying meaning and story of the game that's coming out as well, even though this is not meant to be a video version of the game. Now, from what I'm understanding, they've only ordered a pilot so far. And whether Misha's Two-Face is going to be like the main villain of this or just a side character, whatever, it's fine. All right, so there's two things to talk about. First thing to talk about is, what do I think about Misha Collins coming into this? Oh, I love it. I think Misha Collins is great. Now, obviously, I'm a little... my glasses are tinted a little bit rose in this just because I love Supernatural so much, and I love the character Castiel. Quite frankly, I don't know if Misha Collins is a good actor outside of that. I mean, I just don't know. I love him in Supernatural, but I haven't seen him.
He was on Nip Tuck.
Was he on Nip Tuck?
He was on Nip Tuck.
You know
he
who
was
else
the yoga
on,
guy who could suck his own penis.
I was on Nip Tuck, but unfortunately, I was not a woman who could go down on myself.
Wow.
That's really great for his character. No, I was on Nip Tuck as an IRS auditor.
Oh, okay. I was just going to see if you happened to play with
No,
Misha
but I one of my favorite lines that I've ever said was on Nip Tuck, where I bend over the desk after a post-coitus with Julie McMahon's character, and I say to him, when he refuses to pay his IRS bill, I will bend you over your desk and turn you into my sloppy bottom until I get every last cent.
Julie McMahon on that show was my hero.
If I had a nickel for every time I've been told that, I mean,
gotta pay your bills, gotta pay your Netflix bill.
That delivery, can you say that one more time?
No, let's not. Anyway, but I have not seen him on anything else. I don't remember him from Nip Tuck, so I've never seen him on anything else, so I don't know about that. The second thing about this is, what do we think about the show? I don't know. Another Batman show without Batman. Tried. It's been tried. And they tried it with Gotham, right? And even though the show was working pretty good as what it was meant to be, they decided, none of people are watching. We got to get Batman into it. So let's start showing this young Bruce Wayne kid turning into Batman. And all of a sudden they started bringing in every Batman villain and everything. So I got to admit, I have my reservations about the show concept in general, but I love Misha Collins is being attached to it. I don't know, Rob, you hear about this. Do you have any interest in this show? What do you think about Castiel joining the crew? What do you think?
You know, I whenever you do anything that has the word Gotham in it, the first thing you think about is Batman. And if you're going to make a show about Gotham that Batman isn't in, the next thing you think about is, I wonder why they're making a show about Gotham that Batman isn't in. And if they are going to make this show, how long before they reference Batman and talk about Bruce Wayne or talk around Bruce Wayne, or now that Bruce Wayne's dead, he's probably really not dead, I'll bet. But if he is, I just don't quite understand. It would be like making a Battlestar Galactica IP without the Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, it was called Caprica.
Well, they did. Well, there you go. And how did that work out?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the whole thing. You can't. They always want to do these kinds of spinoffs, and unless a character like, look, they did Frasier, which was a Cheers spinoff. Well, that worked. Mm-hmm. You know that because Frasier Crane was an intrinsic part of Cheers, so you could follow. Like, okay, I get it. But Gotham and Batman, everybody else is secondary. So when you make a show of characters that are secondary, Batman looms so large. However, that said, it could work. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Look, I don't mind the idea of a spin-off. Like, you want to do a Nightwing show. Yeah, okay, then it's Nightwing. It's Nightwing show. You want to do a Catwoman show. Okay, make a Catwoman show. Gotham. Well, everybody's thinking Batman at that point. And to me, at that point, it doesn't even feel like a spinoff. Gotham itself, the Fox show, didn't feel like a spinoff. It felt like it was trying to be a Batman world show without Batman. And that's when you start getting into trouble, I think. Chris, you hear about this. Number one, what do you think about the notion of the show in and of itself? And then number two, what do you think about the addition of Misha Collins?
Oh, man. CW, I wish I could quit you. I really do. Because they keep pulling me back in. I mean, I'm kind of with you guys. This doesn't sound super great given some of the other CW properties that I have continued to watch. There's potential here, though. If we've got Jason Todd rallying up these folks, we get some.
I don't think it'll be Jason Todd.
You don't think it would be?
Well, since they say
adopted son.
Did they say adopted son?
They said adopted son. That's why I don't think it's Damien.
Oh, if it said adopted son, let me double check that again.
Because if it's Jason, then I'm more
excited. I thought
excited.
maybe it said is rebellious. You're right, adopted son. So it's not Damien.
No.
See, I missed that word adopted because I was thinking maybe it'd be Damien. So, yeah, it's either. Well, I mean, let's face it. It's either going to be Dick or. Could be Jason.
Tim.
Could be Tim, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Tim had
But
some
by the way,
issues.
they're also saying Carrie Kelly is going to be in this show as well.
Okay.
Who, of course, was the Robin character in The Dark Knight Returns, the comic series, which, I mean, so this breaks that canon. But, I mean, so there's interest there, but I don't think Carrie's going to be the adopted son. So it's going to either be, I'm betting you're right. It's either Jason or Tim, but probably Jason.
Jason being with like the underworld of Gotham makes more sense to me, right?
Right.
So there's some potential here for some cool storylines. The bit about Misha Collins, though, does get me very excited. I love Misha Collins. I think he's such a great actor. He's such a delight. I just want them to give me little supernatural Easter eggs, though. I want him to say things like, I'll interrogate the cat, or that he found a liquor store and drank it. I just want those little juicy nuggets in there. And I'm just so happy to have him back on television, because what a wonderful, wonderful actor, and what a wonderful person. He's just so great with his fans.
He is. He's wonderful on Supernatural. Aaron, would you have? I'm going to go on a limb here and guess Tom is going to have an interest in this show to a degree. But would you have any interest in this show? And what do you think about Misha Collins?
Would you say that Tom is going to have an interest in this show because of what I told you before we?
No, actually, I just realized that. I meant
no. That's
just
okay.
because
I'll go ahead and say it.
Okay, you can tell. I meant because he likes the comic book stuff. But
so when you said before the show, I asked John were there any off the tops, and he told me about this, and I said, "Oh my gosh, Tom auditioned for that role." So I actually know a little bit about the character. I obviously won't be saying anything. Tom auditioned for the role, and you know what? As an actor, you're not going to book 99% of the jobs that you audition for. But when you see that the role goes to someone really awesome who does it beautifully well, such as when I auditioned for Cersei Lannister and I go, yeah, you guys cast the right person. I will happily give that role over to her because she killed it. You know, I think that this is one of those cases where, you know, Misha Collins not only is a seasoned actor who has been working for many, many years on many series, but also is really talented. And let's face it, when you showed that graphic, he looks like Harvey Dent. He looks
kinda
like the comic book
does.
version. And so I go, okay, already I'm buying it. So that's number one. But also number two, I keep hearing a little bit of chatter about Gotham not working, Gotham not really. The show lasted for 5 seasons, and 4 of those seasons were 22 episodes. On network television, that is, by all definitions, a massive hit. Do you know how many network television shows I've done that have not lasted more than 1 season? I've done 4 of them. A friend of mine, who I won't name, has done 18 pilots that never even went to air. So it's like, for a show to get made into a pilot, for that pilot to get picked up to series, for it then to get the back 9 for the first season, for it then to get 4 22-episode seasons and a 5th finale season of 12 episodes, that is, by all Hollywood standards, a hit. And I do think when we're talking about characters of the Gotham world, let's not forget, the main character outside of Batman is Gotham itself. Nobody else matters
That's
as
true.
much in the world
buy
of
that.
Gotham
Yep.
as much as the city of Gotham itself. And it's the perfect scenario for like making a city really gritty and dirty. You can tell any story, but you're not having to talk about it like it's New York without the New Yorkers getting all, sorry. You don't have to worry about upsetting anyone by saying, oh, New York is such a piece of shit. And you're like, Gotham has turned into this hell pit. And nobody's going to get offended because, let's face it, nobody's from Gotham. So relax, people. So I like the idea of being able to explore Gotham in different ways without necessarily having Batman a part of it, because Gotham itself is the city we keep going back to. And I do think, just like what Chris said, there's a lot of people that just love CW. I loved working for CW. Everybody that I know that has worked with CW has had a really good experience. And there's a reason why Misha Collins worked for the CW for so long with Supernatural and is going back. And so I say, you know what? Let's give it a chance. I'm going to watch this show. I'm interested.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I guess there's really 2 things for you to give your opinion on. Number one, what do you think about the idea of the show in general? And what do you think about Misha Collins, Castiel from Supernatural, joining it? I'm actually very big on that. Whatever you guys think, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Coinbase. Have you found yourself curious about getting involved in cryptocurrency, but if you're like a couple of friends of mine who have been really interested in it, they felt kind of overwhelmed by it, like not even knowing how to get started? Well, that's where Coinbase comes in, because they make learning to buy and sell crypto simple. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy to use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. They support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. And that's why millions of people all over the world in 100 different countries trust Coinbase with their digital assets. So whether you're looking to diversify, just getting started, or searching for a better way to access crypto markets, start today with Coinbase. And for a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/Campea. Sign up at coinbase.com/Campea for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/Campea.